Thank you, sir.
We start with your background. You have been from a finance background, a professional from finance background, working with big fours, and then you are a developer now. So you pretty much have both sides knowledge, fund knowledge as well as as developer knowledge. Now, currently my question is to you from the developer side that you have had a dealing with a lot of institutions, fund institutions, and and for your projects, ongoing projects. Uh, while developers' interest is to see that the cost of the funds remains minimum, the funds and institutions' desire is to charge a high rate of interest. Uh, in a market which is going up and down, that can be quite costly for the developer and cause frictions and relationship can get sour. Uh, in your specific cases, how has this relationship worked? Has it worked on a sustainable basis? Do you see any stress points there? What's your experience? Can you share some experience?
So, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. Uh, if you look at it, Shivam started off in 2007, 2008. We had our first round of funding happening in 2010, where Aditya Birla Real Estate Fund invested as an equity partner with us. It's been almost 8 years that we've been associated with Aditya Birla Real Estate Fund, and so far the journey has been good. But if you look at it primarily from the perspective of the funds, of course, the funds that time were a little premature in terms of understanding the whole developer psyche, understanding of the entire rules and regulations of the industry. And today, of course, they've been really very cautious in terms of where to invest, how to invest. For us, of course, it was been a little challenging in terms of 2012, 2013 because it was difficult to kind of raise finances. But now, after delivering and getting associated with a brand like Godrej, things have been really streamlined. And of course, our partners have always been, helped us in terms of our whatever we needed in terms of their requirements. So far the journey has been good, but of course there were times where there were things which were challenging, but things have been quite better now.
Thanks. In terms of your relationship with Godrej as a development manager, uh, parallelly we see many transactions on the lines of development manager being signed across MMR region. Uh, we see a lot of portfolio of not only Godrej but Shapurji Realty, L&T Realty, and several other large developers have started. Is this the new trend of development manager for small and mid-size developers or landowners? Do you think this is the positive development for the sustainability of the real estate sector, and this is something which is now here to stay, or do you think it's a temporary and short-term phenomena because of the pressing needs it is being done right now, and when market becomes better, if it becomes better, as and when it becomes better, development manager will not be there. What's your take on this?
So if you look at it, see the entire industry has gone through an entire paradigm shift. There's been RERA coming in, there's been other regulatories, GST, all of that has come in now. And there is a lot of requirement in terms of statutory needs now, which only big corporates can kind of help you facilitate this. Small developers, if you look at it, there have been a lot of small developers who have been basically doing a million square feet today. But today they are facing challenges in terms of delivering them on time. Especially time being a constraint now, especially after RERA coming in. I feel this trend has to continue. But it also is a cause of worry for me in terms of understanding how many development management transactions are going to happen. If you look at it in the last 3 years, Godrej, Shapurji, L&T, the way you mentioned, they've almost kind of signed off 3 to 4 million square feet in each and every city. How much delivery they will be able to manage and give is going to be a question mark, which we'll get to know only after 2 3 years.
Sure. Coming to the sector per se, what's their outlook on real estate sector over next 2 years, housing, commercial, and other asset classes? Do you feel they remain dull and or do you think they will slowly pick up and become better?
So if you look at real estate, like I said, there's been a paradigm shift in terms of even consumers' taste. So right now, people have been started preferring only big corporates in terms of delivery, and only well-known brands have been able to deliver. But if you look at it in terms of segment-wise, of course, residential is going to take some time in order to absorb such a big supply which you face presently. Even in Mumbai, likewise, there's a huge amount of supply in terms of demand. Demand is there, but at the right price. People are still having a fear that what if the price drops further, and they have all been waiting and it's taking time in terms of making a decision. Commercial perspective, I would still feel that the markets have kind of been a little stable now, and from here I can see that there has to be a little appreciation going on further. Residential is going to take some time. Affordable, of course, is going to go the way it's going in terms of demand supply and kind of getting bridged. But if you talk about large ticket size, I guess it's going to take some time for them to absorb, and that's where the correction is going to happen further.
From your perspective, from your company perspective, are you looking at growing aggressively over the next 2-3 years, your own business portfolio?
So if you look at it, we've been being very cautious right now because we still feel that there's going to be some amount of corrections happening. So we're going to take another 6 months or 3 months view in terms of understanding how the market's going to go. If you look at it, GST, RERA, all of them have come just a year ago. So we're just giving that time, for the customers to understand that. Post which we'll be able to take some aggressive calls. Of course, with Godrej coming in, we've been able to, kind of build up our entire team, and we are kind of focusing and aggressively looking at some more projects. But we feel that at least 3-6 months we should give more time in terms of understanding the market properly before diving into it.
Now we move on to association with Quantum. So Quantum has been associated with you now nearly for 7 years. I recall 2011, May 2011 was the first engagement. Has been engaged for 7 years. In between there was a gap for a few years, but then initial period of few years and now again.
Right.
Would like to hear your feedback on the services that Quantum provides and how much satisfied you are, and you have any advice for Quantum.
So Quantum, of course, we've been associated with almost 7 years. So the journey has been long. So been knowing everyone for a very long time. And we've been dealing with the team for a lot of other aspects, including the services, of course, the project management services you all provide, and which is the key focus area for us. We've been able to deliver well, and what I only feel or what I want to kind of give as a feedback would be that yes, the entire association has been really kind of cordial, and things have been really good. I hope that we do a lot of other businesses in future.
Is in terms of trust and integrity of any service provider, whether it be project manager or cost manager or even an investment advisor, how important is that, and how important is that for you as a developer when you engage an agency like Quantum?
So now the trust factor is on probably it's the most highest important thing probably anybody looks at it, especially when you go in for a third party consultation for any of these services. Looking at the market presently, I feel that these services have grown and kind of streamlined to a very large extent, and this has helped phenomenally in terms of reducing cost, giving good quality, and even understanding as to how to take decisions in tough times. So of course I would rate that as the most important aspect when it comes to integrity, because if we do not get the right kind of consultancy, especially when we need it, I guess the whole project can go for a task.